Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today, my dog Timber and I are out here at the South Boulder Creek interpretive site in Rollinsville, Colorado. We're going to be doing some gold prospecting today. I'm not expecting to find anything gigantic. Usually I like to go across the creek and do some crevicing in the boulders over there. But the water this year in Colorado has been higher than any other year on record. More rainfall than any other year. So all those really awesome crevices are pretty far down underwater. So we're not going to be doing that today. But I do have some equipment here and I'll show you guys that first and then we'll get to digging. I hope you guys enjoy the video.
All right, so the gear that I like to bring is pretty minimal. Even having a sluice box is a little bit more than I usually bring, but it does help when you want to run a lot of material, therefore getting more gold. So of course, the number one thing I like to bring is a Garrett Super Sluice gold pan. This is my favorite pan. I have about 8 of them. This is my snuffer bottle and holder. I used to sell these holders on kleshgold.com, but I haven't had them on there for a while. This is a bag of Klesh Gold pay dirt. I will be hiding this in this location, and I will be giving that location towards the end of the video. Water. This sluice box is the Bazooka Gold Trap. This was a gift from one of my fans when I was living down in Canyon City, Colorado. I met him in a Walmart parking lot, and he actually gave this to me. So that was awesome. And then 2 buckets, and of course, a 1/4 inch Arbor Fabricating classifier. If you guys want one, use code SKProspect. I'll leave a link below. Also, I forgot to mention, yeah, you're gonna need a shovel. I also have some other gear here. This is my crevicing pack. We're not gonna be doing any crevicing today, so I just have it out to show you guys that my intention was to do some crevicing today, but we're not gonna get to do that. What we are going to do, you can see here, someone had already dug a big pit right here. So we may be digging around in that. Now they didn't fill their hole back in. That's a big strike. Please guys, fill your holes back in if you're coming out to these rivers. Yeah, we did have a lot of rain this year and the heavy waters and stuff do like to cover it up, but a hole this big, these guys probably had a dredge out here or something and they just didn't clean up after themselves. What we are going to do is we're going to set our sluice box up somewhere here in the running water. Looks like right there's a great spot. And then we're going to try to stay in the water while we dig. We're going to classify our material to 1/4 inch, and then we're going to run it through our sluice box. Now with these sluice boxes, they have this right here, which technically means you don't have to classify. But I did notice that if I don't classify, these like to get jammed up a lot. And sometimes it's easier to just classify the material and run it through. All right, so let's set up the sluice box and we'll get to digging. So my hip waders, these are awesome, but the snap kind of doesn't work anymore. I don't know, it's like, it just doesn't work. So I tied a piece of 550 cord on there. Let's go through my belt loop. And then I have a knot in the middle like that, and I'll just run it through the knot. It's hard to do this one-handed. I'll just run it through the knot like that. Then, not only is it way cooler, but it works better.
So right now I'm cleaning out a spot for the sluice box. It's important to have everything downstream of the sluice box cleared out because you're going to be running all this material through it and you don't want that to get plugged up. You want to have a nice free flow of water at all times. All right, that looks pretty good. The only thing is we need to keep this sluice box from floating away, so we got to find a big rock and put it on top. All right. So now I got a big rock on top. The next thing I want to do is to fill up all around it to make more water come through. Because these fluid bed sluice boxes like this require a lot more water flow. so that's actually pretty good. I think we're good for now, and we can always do more adjustments as we go.
All right, so now what I want to do is some sample pans. Basically take one shovelful of material, pan it out, see how much gold there is, and then try a different spot, a different spot, a different spot, until I find the spot that has the most colors per pan. That's going to determine when we're going to start running that material through the sluice box, because then we can just classify it and shovel it in, or actually we can just shovel it right in with this fluid bed. So we may just go ahead and shovel material straight into the sluice box and see how bad it gets plugged up. And if it does get plugged up, we can just start classifying before we run it. So I don't want to be digging into the bank for obvious reasons. There's a road right up here, and we don't want any more erosion that's already happening. Like these guys obviously did not care. So we're going to stay away from that, although it's probably the best area. You got all that hard packed material in there. What we're going to do is we're going to try digging straight down, and maybe we can clear this little area out. I'm going to pick a spot here in the water where the biggest rocks are that are more easily accessible. These rocks are tailings from these guys, so I'm going to stay away from that. But underneath, you can see there are bigger rocks, and some of them have moss on it. That means that those big rocks have been there for a little bit longer. Same thing over here. That may be a pay streak right here. We're still going to do sample pans over in here and stuff, but I'm going to bet that most of the bigger gold is going to be right along there where those bigger rocks are. That's usually where the bigger gold falls out.
I'm going to try filling in this big hole here the best I can. So I'm just going to classify enough material to get one good gold pan, one good sample pan. With these arbor fabricating classifiers, that's literally how long it takes to classify that much. Not long at all. All right. That should be enough for one sample pan. All right, let's pan it out and see if we got any gold. You can see a line of black sand right here along the edge. That means we have a good amount of heavies in here. I have found good gold on this creek. However, that was for when I was crevicing, and you're always going to find bigger gold when you crevice rather than doing this. So yeah, there's our black sands. Good amount there. I'm not going to pan too much more off. I'm going to leave it in the pan and spin it back and see if there's any gold here. I am seeing some flower gold. Yeah. I'm gonna pan it back again and get a good count on the colors. I've seen probably five or six pieces of flower gold in here. All right, here's our first sample pan. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can see like 8 colors in there. It's kind of mixed in with the black sand. If I pan it back, you can kind of see the gold not moving and the black sand moving around it. There's a couple flakes in there. So that ain't too bad for the first sample pan. I'll go ahead and grab that with the snuffer bottle and
And yeah, so I would say we got about 8 colors in this pan from this spot right here that I'm sitting in. There's a big giant horsefly here too. All right, that's the first test hole. That's gonna be the second one right there next to that rock. I got down pretty far next to that rock. And then we're gonna do 3 test pans. The third one's gonna be out there under those bigger rocks over there. So let's go ahead and pan out this the second one, see what we get. Found 2 earthworms. Poor little guys. But they weren't expecting that this morning when they got out of bed. All right, plenty of black sands right there. That's mostly black sands. But there's also a lot of blonde sands left in there that we have to pan off. A couple big rocks got through as well. Whenever you see these things, I just toss them out. I rinse them off and toss them out of the pan. They're just going to cause problems. All right. Now we're getting down to the good stuff. I'm gonna leave most of this in the pan and we'll spin it back and see what we got here. So I only see about 1 or 2 little pieces of flour gold, like 1 flake and 1 piece of flour gold. So, and I think I actually had more dirt than this first test pan. So that tells me we should not dig there. Doesn't mean there's no gold there, it just means what it really means is that our test pan wasn't as good as our first one, which is all I really need to know to determine where to spend more time. All right, let's dig 1 more test hole.
So in my experience, most of the big gold is usually underneath bigger rocks. So if I spend the time and move these boulders out of the way, usually I find better gold underneath. And check this out.
You can't really beat it. I mean, I couldn't think of a single thing I'd rather be doing than digging a hole in a river in the middle of nowhere.
It is pretty awesome. This is going to take a while, so I'll let you know when I'm done.
All right, here at the 3rd test pan, I didn't find much of anything. So in reality, although I thought most of the gold would come from the most expected area, I actually found the least amount. I thought I might find a little more here. I found less, but right here, the easily accessible area, I think that's where we're gonna dig. So I think I'm just gonna take some shovelfuls and run it through, see if it gets plugged up. If it does, we will revert to classifying. But if this works without the classifier, that's an extra step we can cut out. So yeah, let's get digging.
All right, so we have a decent amount of flow, but it is getting plugged up. I don't know which would be more time consuming though, just clearing this out every once in a while or classifying everything that goes through. I guess a little more flow wouldn't hurt. So I'm gonna try to build up around it a little bit better. Yeah, running the classified stuff is so much easier.
And also, it gives us a way to determine how much material we actually ran. Because if I just was doing shovelful after shovelful, there's no way I can keep count of that. As far as buckets though, I can say we ran, you know, 5, 10, 20 buckets, whatever it is at the end of the day. I'm about 3 buckets in. Well, about 3 half buckets in. So like a bucket and a half, I guess. I found this really awesome mineralized piece of quartz right there. Now a lot of you guys are going to say, crush it up and see what's in it. I suppose I could. I have done other videos doing that. And if you want to see that, I'll link it here and in the description and stuff if you want to see crushing quartz for gold. But yeah, mineralized quartz, that's a good sign of gold. All right, this is bucket number 3 or 6 half buckets. As you can see, the deeper down I get, the more mud and clay I'm finding. And that's actually a good thing for finding more gold, because gold does like to sit on that clay layer. And I think I'm down at it and having to bust it up going through the classifier. If I were to take that material and shovel it straight into the fluid bed sluice, those chunks of clay would just roll over the top and I would lose the gold. The classifier forces me to classify it down so everything goes through the sluice. Okay, so for the bag of Klesh Gold Beginner Pay Dirt from kleshgold.com, I'm going to give a couple hints here on camera so you'll know where to go to get it. I'll just keep filming as we go. These bags do have a 1/4 gram of gold guaranteed. There's always going to be more than that. If you don't live in Colorado and you still want to get some, you can go to kleshgold.com and you can buy a bag. We ship same day, every day. I'm going to hide it on the other side of the water. I got to put my phone down, but I'll get recorded I'll start recording again once I get over there. All right, well, change of plans. That is a really strong current and I'm not able to get across. Timber's looking at me like I'm crazy. So I'm gonna go ahead and I guess we'll hide it on this side somewhere. Where should we hide it, buddy? We'll find a spot to hide it. Come on. All right, we've got 2 trees right here. You know what? I'm gonna put it right next to this tree in the high grass, just like this. And I'm gonna set a rock on top of it. Let's get a rock. There we go. So there's 2 trees right here. Got a little electrical box thing right there. And that's all the clues you're getting. We'll just go like this. All right, good luck. I got really excited for about a split second when I found this piece of quartz in the bottom of my classifier. Because before I throw my classifier out, I always check it for gold nuggets, because anything larger than a 1/4 inch usually gets thrown away. But I always like to quickly search through just in case there's a nugget in there. And I saw this guy sticking out and I was like, oh, it's quartz with gold in it. Like I saw it at an angle like that. And it's not gold, but just thought I would share that. So it's kind of hard to tell with the shadow, but there's a big rock right there and there's a hole right next to it. This is where I'm actually focusing on digging for a couple reasons. For one, I do like to dig around big rocks because, for one, it provides one solid side and then it doesn't collapse in on itself as much. And then I have something to kind of guide me, like it shows me how much I've dug. This is a total of about 4 buckets taken out of there, 4 full buckets or 8 half buckets. That's what I'm working on now, my 8th bucket. And yeah, I usually find better gold around big rocks anyway. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill this bucket up one last time, about halfway. That'll make it 4 full buckets, and then we'll call it. We'll get out of here. All right, so cleanup of a fluid bed sluice box is really easy. All you need is a bucket. Just stand it up. And then shake it around. All the heavies that were trapped in the bottom, you tilt it enough, they'll fall out into the bucket. I don't know if you can see in there, but there's not a lot. That's all the concentrates from 4 full buckets. Maybe 8 pounds of concentrates here. We're not going to do that here. We're going to take this back to the pan station, and I'll see you back there. All right, we're back at the shop here at the recirculating sluice box. I'm going to go ahead and just run this through, 1 spoonful at a time. This sluice box is made by Infinity Prospecting. I'll put a link to them down below if you want one. They're not an affiliate or anything. However, they did send me this sluice box for free. So in case you're wondering why I'm using a sluice box to process my concentrates here at home, it's because I have like, I don't know, maybe 10 pounds of concentrates here, and the sluice box is going to cut all that down to like 1 pan to make things a lot easier. I am seeing gold in the riffles here. I'll show it in a second on camera. This is what the matting looks like. You can see it's all full of black sands already. And I do have a DIY video on my sluice setup. That's over on my other channel. I'll link that below too if you want to see how I did this. All right, after running through the sluice box, we are left with just a small amount of manageable black sands. I'm just going to transfer this to a pan, and we're going to go ahead and dry this out so we can remove all this black sand, all the magnetic stuff. Sorry, a pen busted on my hand today. Okay, here it is. This is the concentrates from 4 buckets from the Boulder Creek interpretive site in Rollinsville, Colorado. So now we just want to go ahead and remove the magnetic material from this. So let's go ahead and do that. Yep, mostly magnetic material in there, and it's still hot. Okay, here we have our magnetic and non-magnetic material. Such a small amount from 4 buckets. And there's probably still some magnetic material left in there, but that's okay. We got most of it out. It's a good amount. So we're gonna pan both of these out. First, I'm gonna go ahead and I guess I'll do the hard stuff first. I will pan out, there's a BB. Like a piece of buckshot or something. Interesting. I'm gonna go ahead and pan this stuff out spoonful at a time, just to see if I grabbed any gold with the magnet, because that does happen sometimes. Not often though. So let's bring over Crusty Rusty. I'll add some water and some jet dry as well. That jet dry is gonna break the surface tension of the water, so any really small gold can't float away. All right, so I'm just gonna do about this much at a time. Let's see if there's any gold in it. So there's really not much to pan off. So this pretty much, you just have to pan it back in the pan. And if I do see any gold, I'll just grab it with the snuffer bottle as I see it.
probably a good idea to classify this stuff too, because you see these big boulders in there. These are causing problems with the flow. So I'm just going to go ahead and pan this one quick. If I don't see any gold in it, chances are there's no significant gold in the rest of it. And I actually do see one little piece of flour gold. It's extremely small, right at the tip of my finger, like right there. One little piece of flour gold. So honestly, guys, panning through all of this for that much, definitely not worth it. So we're just going to go ahead and skip that. We'll get right to the good stuff. There's not a lot here. I have a well-seasoned pan. We'll go ahead and start panning it. Interesting red color, reddish brown. Was not expecting that. All right, so there are some pieces of quartz. I see some garnets in there. Just letting the water remove it. I'm not splashing it out of the pan. I do see our heavies at the bottom. You can see how the sand's getting darker. That's your non-magnetic black sands, things like garnet and other stuff. So I'm just going to go ahead and pan it back. All right. Now I know there's no gold down here because I just panned it back. So I'm going to take my squirt bottle, get rid of all of that. I do need a snuffer bottle. There's a little vial inside of it. We sell these as part of our panning kits on kleshgold.com. All right, snuffer bottle is at the ready. What is that? That is a piece of lead. So like a lead BB from a shot, from a maybe buckshot or something, or I'm not sure 100% where that could come from. Oh, it's a split shot sinker for fishing. I'll put that in the bullet jar, the lead jar. All right, now I'm just gonna patiently, very patiently, pan this stuff back. I can already see a bunch of gold over here in the corner. Right there. I should be wearing gloves for this. The reason you want to wear gloves is because you have oil on your fingers, and that oil can contaminate the water, negating the usefulness of the jet dry. Oh yeah, there's some nice gold. Whoa, there's a nice piece. I mean, it's a flake, but I mean, for Colorado, it's pretty darn good. That's only 4 buckets. Oh, there's a couple pieces in there. There, you can see it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go ahead and keep panning this. I should have classified it. All right, so at this point, I'm actually gonna go ahead and I'm gonna classify this a little bit. I know there's not a lot there, but classifying it is gonna make the process a whole bunch easier. I'm not sure what mesh this is. My sticker fell off and I never wrote it down, but it is that big. All right, so I'm just gonna run this through that. There's actually a piece of gold larger than this screen. That is awesome. Let's see if I can grab it with the tweezers. Is that a picker? I have found pickers out there before. Look at that. Yeah, it's only a flake of gold, but man, that's actually pretty awesome. I want to make sure there's no more gold in here though. No way. Is that another piece? Is that gold? That is! I got another piece in there. That's not gold, is it? No way is that gold. Holy cow. That is gold too. This is awesome. That's the biggest piece, I think. I didn't even expect that to be gold. I thought that was just like a white colored rock or something. Man, I'm really glad I cleaned this out. I'm gonna clean this out a little bit better. What? Another one? Look at that. That's a chunky little piece right there. That is a chunky little piece as well. Dude, this is awesome. That's not gold. That's just a piece of quartz. This is a leaf. Cool. All right, let's pan it back and see what we got. I have a really good idea. Look at that. That was pretty awesome. Being up there on the river, even found some gold. And honestly, even if I didn't find gold at all, I'd still be just as happy. Well, maybe not. I'd be a little bit less happy. But look at that, that's awesome. How much does that weigh? Right there is probably about $2 worth of gold. It was a 2-hour round trip for me to drive. So probably $10 to $20 worth of gas. It took me all day. So that was an entire day. So yeah, $2 for the whole day. I couldn't be happier. So if you guys enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up button. Also, don't forget, you guys can go up there and not even pan for gold. You could just go find that bag of beginner gold pay dirt from kleshgold.com. You're guaranteed a 1/4 gram of gold if you find it first. And if not, you can always go to kleshgold.com and buy one. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thumbs up, subscribe, all that. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.
If you're still here, you're one of the 42% that haven't left, so thanks so much. And also, big thanks to all my Patreon supporters and channel members scrolling on this side. And also, if you're really interested in this channel and you liked what you saw, please consider subscribing, liking the video, and check out these other videos linked here. They're also very relevant to what you just watched. And that's all I got for today. Thanks for watching.